It is November, and I thought this has been on my mind for a little bit. Some people are asking about what did I buy for my Model 3 after I bought it? Do I need accessories? Should I buy anything else? Is there anything specific for Arizona that you recommend? So, yes to all of the above. I made a few purchases, even though this is a lease, that just makes your life a little bit easier and more comfortable. So, I think we will start on the outside of the car and then we'll go on the inside. So, this is just for me. This isn't all the things that may be helpful for you, but just things that were good for Arizona or just generally that either don't come with the Tesla that I wish that it had. So, this is a 2020. This is not the refresh. This was bought end of 2019, delivered in November of last year, but 20% tint for sure. You want that heat not going into the car as much as possible. I recommend if you own the car to go ceramic. This is a carbon tint. The front is ceramic, and I did that because carbon's just cheaper, but it's really effective. It looks great. Ceramic on the front is 70%. This prevents the heat from going through the front windshield. It's a few $100 to do the whole car. It's really not bad. And the main thing with ceramic, it's like a few percentage more heat reflection, and apparently visibility from inside out is better, and they did the back as well. But that's it for the rear of the car, and let's head on the inside. So one of the things that the Standard Range Plus doesn't come with is floor mats. Even if you get the Performance or Long Range, you only get carpet, and all-weather floor mats are really, really great. You can get them directly from Tesla or save a bunch of money and go on Amazon, type in Model 3 floor mats. You can do this for the Model Y or other vehicles, and I picked these. They're not from Tesla, but they're about half the price of what Tesla charges, and they look like Batman's armor and looks pretty sweet. Also is these performance pedals. So these are about $150, I believe, with the performance. Or I'm sorry, if they come with the performance, but they're $150 aftermarket from Tesla. I paid less than $20 for those, and they are amazing. This one just replaces the existing foot pad. It's just a slip-on, and then that one just goes right over the existing pedal. It's super easy to install and is really, really great. Now, some other stuff that you might know is in Arizona right now we have it gets dry. Whether it's winter, summer, it's really dry. So I recommend a portable humidifier. This is one that these are like $15 on Amazon. You just look for a cup holder humidifier, and it really makes the cabin really comfortable to breathe in. And if you're familiar with dry weather and low humidity, you know how that affects your breathing, your throat. And for those that aren't, like it's so nice to have on a long drive, because this little guy can last about 4 hours before needing to refill. And I just keep a bottle of distilled water in the car, or I have reverse osmosis inside the house. I'll just fill it as needed. Something to note, since we don't really turn the car off, this thing will run even after you turn the car off. So you just want to make sure you're turning it off as you leave the car, or else you'll end up with an empty humidifier by the end of it. But one thing that may actually work is if you are leaving it on, you can leave it parked, go in to run an errand, and when you come back, the car is pretty, the humidity level is just super comfortable for you and any passengers that you are with. Now, the other thing that I bought was the wireless charger. So Tesla currently includes this with all new models, but if you have an older Model 3, you don't get wireless charging. So there's wireless charging built into here, and it uses the traditional USB ports. And I only have one side hooked in because the other side I wanted to leave for the data storage from the Sentry mode and dashcam to save. So that's another thing you want to buy, is a USB drive and then format it. There's information online on how to do that, but this is kind of, they've resolved this in the recent refresh to make sure that you can put this thing in a different place, so that way you're not taking up the wireless charging, which the new ones I believe are USB-C. It does make this pad thicker, and then my phone, honestly, the wireless charger sucks. It's really slow. It's 5-watt system. You can get aftermarket ones that are 7.5 watt chargers that are half the price of what Tesla charges, and I just don't recommend it. I have a case, and it moves, the phones move, the charging gets disconnected, and even when it is charging, it's so slow. Like, it's almost useless, and I definitely would have rather bought an aftermarket or just not got it at all. They did something when they had my solar install, and it caused some sort of delay, which when I was doing a remodel on my house, they just said, sorry, and we'll give you $120 worth of credit for your troubles. And I said, what about just send me the wireless charger? And they said, yeah, that's fine. So that's the reason why I have one. It's not great. It's not to say that the built-in ones are maybe better, but the current one's terrible. It's the official one from Tesla. So I might sell it. The other item is above here. So this is a sun reflector for the heat. So in Arizona, you totally feel the heat. If this wasn't there during summer, and honestly, in spring and even right now, we got like 90 degrees and it's November, is you really feel the heat on your forehead. So if you're on a long trip, it's pretty brutal. So I've been gotten used to you can just wear a hat. But if you don't want to wear a hat and you don't want to feel that heat, it may be worth investing in. And there's two kinds you can buy. And in the Model 3 as well, when you're driving, you don't really notice this window. This is really a benefit for the aesthetics of the car and your passengers. So when you're driving, it's not like the Model X where you have this amazing glass, or even the Model, I think for the Model Y, it's pushed forward a little, but for the 3, you don't even really notice it. So I've had this up for like 6-7 months straight, and this allows half the light through. So you can still see the outside sky. They have other ones where this is completely blacked off, and it's reflective and it reflects even more heat, but then you have zero visibility out from the car. So you can decide what's best for you. Even with this, if you look really closely in the rearview mirror up here, you can see little dots of the sun hitting your forehead, but it reduces about half and provides a little bit of shade for the inside of the car. And all of these little refinements with the tint, with this, and even a front windshield visor, which you may have from an existing vehicle, really reduce the heat in the car, make sure the AC is running efficiently, and then it also helps your battery because the AC is not working as hard, and cabin overheat protection can either delay before it needs to be turned on or just used a lot less. So highly recommend something here. I don't really have anything for the rear windows. The tint's pretty good there. It doesn't really affect me, but front windshield, all tint all the way around tint, and up here. One other tip I'll give is if you get tint in the front, so this is 70%, and you can see right through it. It's amazing. Nighttime driving is not, there's no issue. You don't even notice it's there, but you can really feel the heat is about half, it feels like subjectively when it's coming through, is that the UV, anti-UV layers and heat reflecting properties and all that stuff that they put into the tint. Unfortunately, what I didn't realize, and I should have asked, and it's not a big deal now, but it's just something to consider, is that you polarized sunglasses, which is really popular and common, have issues with it. Like you'll see the coatings and it's like distracting and potentially gives you a headache. So I noticed that, so I ended up buying non-polarized sunglasses. Specifically, I leave in the car just for driving because that was really distracting, but it's worth it to me. Most $10 sunglasses on the market are not polarized because that's expensive to add, but something to keep in mind if you have polarized prescription lenses, that may be an additional investment if you are getting front windshield tint. The other items that I would recommend is, especially during COVID, and I did a video on this, is that I have a takeout tray that I bought that's specific for the Model 3. Basically looks like this, super easy to slip on, and then I put food right here. My wife and I, we get a lot of takeout. She has her food and I can put mine here, and then we can free up the armrest for her to put her food on. And this has just been amazing. It's $20 on Amazon, and unlike other food trays, other food trays you'll notice in the pictures, if you look them up on Amazon, you have to turn the wheel upside down to put them on. This one just goes on straight up, and then you can just take it off really easily. And I just keep it in the back seat, which is totally awesome. So that's been a great investment. $20. I think others have sold them for like 50. Definitely not worth $50 when others are selling for 20. I don't have an up, but it's not really specific to Tesla, but I've got a couple dogs. Again, I think the leather in this car is easy to clean. It's great. And then you can put a car, any normal dog. I haven't seen any Tesla dog seat covers specific for Tesla, but just generic ones totally work for the vehicle and can keep the car somewhat clean. The last piece that I would recommend is that AllWeather, trunk mats are recommended. So the car doesn't come with them, but the same set. So when you buy the AllWeather floor mats, they're just for the inside of the car, not the front. But they also sell aftermarket ones. So when you get the car, normally it just looks like that. And you want to avoid scratches there. And if you're, depending on what you're putting in the front, which I only really keep the charger in there, sometimes groceries, but not really. You want to keep that clean. So I would recommend front and rear floor all-weather mats for the trunk too. And the trunk will be the priority for me. So there's my dog seat cover. I removed it, had some passengers, but again, as you can see, this looks like Batman's armor. It's pretty awesome. But they're all fitted for the cars. This thing was half price, and if you're lucky enough, if they're trying to get reviews, I'll be honest, they're all rated well, but this company gave me these for free, or I bought them, and then they reached out saying, hey, if you write a review, we'll refund you the difference, and it was awesome. So these didn't really cost me anything. I don't know what made them choose me, or is it random, or it was the first couple of customers, but the point is you get them on Amazon, this brand or not, and they're like half the cost of Tesla. The last piece, actually, now that I'm back here, is I would get a tire inflator that plugs in to the car. I've used this so many times. I think I have a small leak in the front left tire. Maybe when I go through a drive-through car wash, it when it hits the tire, maybe it takes some air out. But even with the changing temperatures as we get in Arizona, we know that it's been 100. Last week it dropped down to like 50 something, 60 degrees. The tire pressure totally changes. And if you take road trips up to Sedona, California, other states, your tire pressure is key to getting the best efficiency. And this has been amazing. A digital one, I can just plug it in and then choose the tire pressure, which is like 445 psi, and then you turn it on, and then it gets up to that point and then turns off on its own. And I've used it for friends' cars too that needed it, and it's really helpful in emergencies. If you get a flat, you fix it, and then you need to inflate the tires, or just for normal usage to maximize your tire pressure, because the little yellow error you get, the sensor will totally trigger. So those are my recommendations and the parts that I've purchased for my car. There are other stuff that you can buy, of course. There's accessories all over the place, but those are the ones that I've found to be most useful. If I owned the car, I probably would have done ceramic tint instead of carbon. I think those are all the useful ones. So if you have any other ones that have been helpful, especially for the climate in Arizona, let me know. But just do things to reduce the heat. Get a little humidifier. It's just so helpful. Makes the car ride just so much more comfortable. And if you think of anything else, let me know. Subscribe if you want to hear more updates around Tesla for Arizona specifically. I do solar updates every once in a while too. But thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next one. Please stay safe. Go out there and vote, and have a great week. Peace.